Today on Over a Cup of Tea, we have the pleasure of having Princess with us. First of all, we seek your blessings because from a family where passion had driven many princes and princesses towards pursuing something which was very different from what they were really. Even starting from Swadirnal Thirumansa, അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ സമയം തൊട്ട് തന്നെ a person who was passionate towards music. In your case, it is writing. ഗോദവർമ്മ തമ്പുരാൻ്റെ കാര്യത്തിൽ sports and every aspect. We would like to know about how different the family's interest were as a person from inside the family.
Good evening. Yes, every individual is an individual in his or her own right. So prototypes don't come that easily among human beings. I don't think it will come at least in any situation. So all of us have, I suppose, our own individuality or our own personality, or in this case, if I must use that word, our own passions and interests, our attitudes and aptitudes. Yes? So, like that, in my family also, we have our own distinctive differences in our aptitudes. Some may not be so obvious, some may be obvious. But however, I think almost all of us are bound by one passion. Almost all of us. Our Padmanabha Swami. It's not a fashion to talk about him like that, it is a passion. Now, coming to less evolved or elevated spheres, well, I think for my sister, she's the eldest member in the lady member. She's the eldest member in our family now. I think for her, traveling, meeting people, those things were very, very important to her. She was very much involved in that and keeping up contacts, keeping up friendships. But with the present pandemic, those things have definitely taken a back seat. I'm not going to talk about everybody, every member of my family, what's the point? It's not necessary, but some of them are interested in music, some of them are interested in writing, some of them are interested in multi-interests, starting with the cows, looking after cows, running a cow, Goshala as one would say. I mean, a lot of differences in it, but I would say that passion would be perhaps a little too emphatic, a verbal usage. It would be likes. In my case also, I don't know whether writing is a passion for me. It is a necessity. What the fine differences are between the two, I am unable to fathom. But anyway, it is a solace, it is a panacea. It keeps me going many times. It is not a burden, it is not a something which I have thrust upon myself, something I like, something I enjoy. I may thrust upon others what I do, I might thrust upon others. That is, and whether they would enjoy it or not, you must ask them. Otherwise, that's how it is. And that call has led me to write 13 books. I have to make a correction here. Have led me to, I suppose, I have to use a term, I have to put the usage of I, but actually it is the blessings of God. But no, Swami, otherwise I'm sure I would not be able to write even a word.
Now, when we talk about Lord Padmanabha Swami, there was a time when I was given the work of writing content for a website which was about Padmanabha Swami, and my only reference were two books. One was yours and the other one was a very age-old customary practices which was inside. Yeah, yeah. So these two books were the only things which guided me, and I found your writing about Padmanabha Swami Temple, these secrets, I would say, which people rarely know, or it's very, what should I say? People have slowly losing interest. So, what do you think about why or how we are losing that value these days? Why and how we are losing that values? Because there is so much to learn from the Padmanabha Swami Temple. Why and how we are losing the values the present day and age?
Actually, I do not know whether we are losing it. Sometimes I think we are getting more involved in it rather than losing. Now, everybody has become very conscious of their values, of their heritage, of their traditions. Whether they want to put it into practice or not in their daily life is another thing. They may not. However, when it comes to places of worship, whether it's a temple or place of worship of other religions like churches or mosques or anything, people are by and large today very conscious. Very conscious. And it has become perhaps not just a public consciousness, but a private consciousness also, that it is ours, ours, ours. It has its very big pluses also, because if that is not there, if it is an impersonal association, then the possibility of that getting watered down to indifference or casual acceptance could happen.
Now, one particular name, Godavarma Rajatamburan, it is very shocking for me to know that rarely people are able to notice what all he did. For that matter, be it the tennis club or be the sports council, be it the promotion of cricket, be it all that he did. Now, we want your memories about him, and we want to know more so that people start reading about him, people start thinking about him, because Kerala is so gifted with a personality like him who gave so much for sports.
Father was, in a way, a passionate man. I am using your term. He was passionate about sports. He was passionate about tourism, and he was passionate about India, and particularly Kerala and his home by adoption, Thiruvananthapuram. He came from Punyar, and he always used to say that the Meenachal river, originating from Punyar, was the most beautiful, the clearest, most pristine water body he had ever seen. His passion for sports, I think, must have started very, very young. He was a child of the mountain region of Punyar, and he and his elder brother would sling I think it must have been a gun, over their shoulders and go into the forest. But they never really became hunters, like in the true sense of the term. And all his instincts of challenge turned to sports. No sport was outside his orbit of interest. Every sport, but perhaps in that long array of sports, what really perhaps captured his heart most were football and tennis. Of them, perhaps football did stand a little above tennis, I feel. My grandson is the one person in the family who has inherited that. My elder son, Martanda Varma, and Gopika, their son, Rama Varma, who is now in Melbourne. He has put up an artificial turf right here. At the age of 22, he did the entire groundwork, the spade work, the finishing work, everything he did. It was his brainchild, and it is doing very well. Anyway, coming back to father, and wherever he went, whether he had minimum luggage or moderate luggage, he was never heavily overloaded, never. One thing was certain, he would always carry in his hand a tennis racket. That was certain. And sometimes when he was traveling by road, he would come across perhaps a few boys playing shuttlecock or badminton, whatever it may be. On the grounds they would have a makeshift net or something. He would many times he would stop the car and join them. And he was, if you look at Trivandrum, the number of sports facilities that Trivandrum today offers, almost every one of them owe their birth to him. Exception would perhaps be the golf club, which came much before him. He, of course, did a lot to bring it up, to improve it and all, but in its own pristine beauty, with this extremely exceptional golf house, the club house and all that, it came before him. But as you have yourself mentioned, whether it be the tennis club, whether it be the rifle club, the aquatic association, the mountaineering club, the flying club, the little football centers, then of course the sports council. The sports council in Trivandrum, which he fathered, was the first in India. So almost everything you find here, connecting with sports, cricket association, everything he had, you could trace it back to him. And I think it was his sportsman's reflex action which he might have acquired through sports, because for sports you need a reflex action all the time. Your reflexes have to be sharpened and you have to be on it, which temporarily saved his life. December 1st, I'm very bad with years and dates, but it is just before my elder son had his Vidyarambham that year. Anyway, so every month, on the first of the English month, I don't know whether these elephants were Europeans, but anyway, they were the temple elephants. They would come here, they would be brought here and they would be given coconut and jaggery and bananas and a big bucket of water to drink, and they will have a bath and chandan will be applied and all. This happened every year, every month. One month, December 1st, Maharaj and Maharani were not here, but mother, father and all of us children and our granddaughter, Lakshmi. I was expecting my son, my second son. My elder son was also here, and we were all there when the elephants came. Father was just rushing off to a meeting when my niece Lakshmi called him back. Apupa, come. The elephants have come. So he came back. He had started. He came back. He came to the elephants. He took something and gave it to one elephant to eat, and he was bending down to take the next, when something went through the elephant's head, whether it thought it was going to be denied food or water, and it just knocked him down with its trunk, and he fell in front of it. The immediate reflex action of the elephant is to either stamp or bore. It was a she elephant, but she had tusks, little tusk. The cow elephant, she gored his right thigh. It was such a deep thing that the thigh was split open. And to our inexperienced eyes, we thought that the thigh was split open. It was actually the what is it called, the plasma, or what is it, under the skin. It was hanging like that. But he was able to, and the elephant lifted its head and was going to bore him again. Either it would bore him or stamp him, and that's the end. He was able to, in spite of this, the elephant so near him, he was able to roll out of the reach of the elephant, get up, walk fast with this leg, walk up the steps, come to the sofa and collapse. Then he could not get up. He always used to say it was his sportsman instinct, that reflex action which made him, that is true. Honestly, Ordinary, less ordinary person would have been petrified, would not have been able to move, and that's the end of it. That is a sort of reflex action that saved his life, gave him a lease of life for 3 months more.